good to have you with us this Sunday morning on Red, White, and Bluegrass. I'm Bodie Brooks. Each week we encourage state lawmakers to debate each other as we focus on local and state government issues. We like to keep it spirited but respectful. This week, a couple of state senators returned to RWB. Senator Damon Thayer of Georgetown is serving out his final term after choosing not to run for re-election this year. He has served as Senate Majority Floor Leader since 2013. And we welcome back Senator Reggie Thomas. The Lexington Democrat has represented District 13 since 2014, and he serves as the Senate Minority Caucus Chair. Thank you, gentlemen, both so much for joining the program this morning. Here's this week's Red, White, and Bluegrass roadmap. First, a dispute between two constitutional office holders lands inside a Franklin Circuit courtroom. Then Senator J.D. Vance comes to Lexington and fills his campaign coffers. And as state schools fold their DEI offices and lawmakers talk about minority opportunities in core Kentucky industries, what role does state government play to encourage diversity? So we begin with the dispute between the auditor and the governor. In July, an 8-month-old child was found dead in her family's home after being reported missing for months. 4 people were arrested in the death of baby Maya Rudd. And in a court filing last week, the Kentucky Auditor's Office alleges that this could have been avoided. They say the Cabinet for Health and Family Services was aware that baby Maya's umbilical cord tested positive for methamphetamine when she was born. However, they say there was no investigation by the Cabinet and the office that could have done something. The state ombudsman has been stonewalled from doing its job of investigating citizen complaints because it's had its access to a critical database revoked. The Cabinet says the issue is a legal one. When the Ombudsman's office moved out of the Cabinet to the Auditor's office this year, they say this was one critical area that was overlooked.
It's the database that has to be utilized, has always been utilized by the Office of the Ombudsman. If you get a complaint from the public, you have to be able to review what has happened. It's
a narrow statute. It lists out the number of people who can have, the groups of people who have access to these records. And in my opinion, that's been the whole issue. That specific statute controls.
Lawmakers held a hearing on the issue a month ago after the auditor sent a letter to the governor's office about the issue. Now the auditor will be in court on Wednesday to make a motion to speed along the trial. So you saw a little bit from that committee meeting there that took place about a month ago. Fast forward to today. Not much has changed here on this particular issue. Realistically, what powers are within the governor's office to change this if the court wasn't to do something? Senator Thayer, I'll let you begin here.
Well, this is just another clear example of Andy Beshear flouting the laws passed by the legislature. We passed Senate Bill 48. He let it become law without his signature. We moved the Office of Ombudsman from the Cabinet to the Auditor's Office because we didn't feel it was appropriate for the Cabinet to be able to investigate itself. You can't really get a lot of objectivity there. And now the governor is not giving the access to the iTwist database to the auditor, and it's cost a child's life. The job of the ombudsman is to be able to go in and investigate and to help save lives and to protect kids. And I don't know what it is with Andy Beshear, but he has a real problem with laws passed by the Republican majority legislature.
Senator Thomas, your thoughts here?
Well, what Senator Thayer fails to acknowledge is that the legislature dropped the ball here. You know, Governor Beshear's responsibility is to follow the law, and that is exactly what Governor Beshear is doing. Yes, this legislature decided that they wanted to move the ombudsman to the auditor's office. Fine. We didn't transfer, because I'm a member of the legislature, we didn't transfer all the powers associated with that, including access to the database. You had Wes Dukes, General Counsel of the Cabinet Health and Family Services, speaking. He's absolutely right. The statute is clear that this database stays with CHFS, Cabinet for Health and Family Services officials. Okay, the ombudsman being with the auditor's office now is not part of the CHFS cabinet. The governor has clearly said, I want you to change the law. I want the ombudsman to have access to the database. But we've got to do that as a legislature. And until we do that, saying the governor should provide the ombudsman access to the database is breaking the law. This governor is not going to break the law.
Is it worth calling a special session over or waiting until 2025 whenever the General Assembly can step in?
That's between the governor and President Stivers and Speaker Osborne. If they want to call a special session to make sure that we don't have this problem in the future, then so be it. Let's get this done. The governor said, I'll sign the bill if you put it on my desk.
Interesting that Senator Thomas continues to spew out the Beshear talking points. The governor didn't sign the original bill. He let it become law without his signature. And when Andy Beshear doesn't like Republican laws, and in this case it took power away from his cabinet, gave it to another executive agency, he has a history now for 4.5 years of figuring out a way to flaunt the law, and that's exactly what's happening here. And children's lives are in danger around Kentucky. We'll see what the court does. Auditor Ball has asked for it to be expedited. We'll see if that can happen, and if a need for a special section exists, that will become clear. If not, it's going to have to be something the legislature acts on when it returns in January without me.
If I can quickly respond, Governor Beshear is not going to break the law. If we want to do this right, and the legislature was clear that they wanted to remove the ombudsman to the auditor's office, then also give that ombudsman the same powers he or she would have as they had with the cabinet. They didn't do that. You can't transfer the position without transferring the authorities and the rights that go with that. And we as a legislature failed to do that.
It's clear that once again Andy Beshear likes to take the moral high ground. He understands what the clear intent of the legislature was in this instance.
And so as we wrap up this segment here, moving forward, we're going to have this court date on Wednesday. I know the auditor is at least requesting a summary judgment here. Is it more likely that this gets solved in the court first, or is it going to be some time in the General Assembly, Nathan?
Well, you never know what a judge will rule, but you have to follow the statute. You know, we believe in the rule of law. We Democrats believe in the rule of law.
When it's convenient.
We Democrats believe in the rule of law.
When it's convenient. And
if the law says that this database stays within the auspices of those officials of Cabinet for Health and Family Services, the governor's going to follow the law, and I would encourage him to do so.
I call on Andy Beshear to do the right thing, but he's been in statewide office for 8.5 years and shows a consistent proclivity to ignore the law and do what he feels he wants to do.
All right, gentlemen, thank you so much for your expertise on this particular topic. It's still going to be a little while before we see what ends up happening on this particular issue. Still to come, the top